Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the And All Along podcast. My name is Araya Curry, and I'm the host of this podcast. And I'm so grateful that you've decided to give me the next 20 minutes of your life, spend a little time with me. And we're going to go ahead and get right into today's topic, okay? First off, let me just say this podcast is for women who want to stop waiting on Prince Charming to come save them and they want to start building their own damn castle. Okay. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, you're ready to develop as a person, just become and evolve as a woman, then this is the podcast for you. So today we're going to be talking about designing your life. And I think it's important that we talk about this because a lot of people are just wandering through life, letting life happen to them. All right. And you can't create what you can't see. Okay. So if you think of like all of a sudden one day you're going to have a dream life and you have not gotten clear or designed what that dream life looks for you, chances are it's probably not going to happen, right? Because you don't even know what you're after. You have no idea what you're looking to do. Like, it's like if you were trying to put a puzzle together and you never saw what the actual picture of the puzzle looked like. How are you supposed to know where to put the pieces? How is your mind supposed to start putting the pieces together to make the puzzle happen? The puzzle being your dream life. So, we're going to be talking about designing your life today, okay? So, you can't create what you can't see. How are you gonna know if you leveled up if you have not defined what the next level looks like? Now, when I was on my, well, I'm still am, of course, but when I was like just starting on my journey, just becoming as a woman, I remember I had a really hard time differentiating. I think I said that right. Differentiating the difference between like big picture goals, like my overall dream life, and what my next level looks like, right? So this will be the difference between short term and long term goals, right? So I'll be a little vulnerable, a little transparent, and share some of my goals with you all. So, for example, my big girl goal, like my big dream goals, is to be. I want to be retired before I'm 40. I would really like to be retired by 35. So that gives me 10 years right now, 10 years of hard work uh, before retirement. Um, and I know that I want to own a beautiful home. I know that I want to get into like private equity deals. Like I would like to buy and sell businesses, and I would like that's the level of business I would like to get to where I'm just doing like private equity deals, and yeah, that's pretty much where how I see my life on a long term scale within the next like 10 to 15 years. That's what I would like to be doing, right? So, but then there was the reality of where I was, right? So there's this huge gap between the Araya who had just got separated from the Navy, was living with her mom, figuring, on WIC, food stamps, trying to just figure my stuff out, figure myself out while raising a child by myself, there was a lot of distance between that me and the big me that I see, right? And well, it seems like there's a lot of distance. That's how I was seeing it, in my mind. But anytime, right, because there is such a big gap between the person that I was and the person that I ultimately want to become, it's like it would intimidate me. So it would cause me to procrastinate because that thing seemed so far outside of myself. It's like I didn't really believe I could do anything. Like it just affected me in all these different ways. And so what I had to learn to do was to write out what is like the next level for me. So instead of always thinking so big picture, because I think part of that is me being like a control freak. So I had to just get really clear on what is my next level goal and what is my big girl goal. So for me, my next level goal was okay, let's start the YouTube channel. Let's start my YouTube channel so that I can start to build, a brand for myself. That's something that I want to do. Let's just start there. That's something that I could see current me doing, right? I can start a YouTube channel. A YouTube channel is not too far out of my reach, but the sound of a private equity deal sounds so beyond me, right? So creating those next level goals and making sure, of course, they're on the path to your big goal, but like just really focusing on the next level. Like I have an idea, like I said, I know what it looks like. I've written it out, what that, like what 10, 15 years down the line, what I would like to be doing just in my life and my career. Of course, everything can't be controlled, but like I can't control everything, but you have to intend life. You can't let life happen to you. The way that companies are able to forecast and do like financial trajectories and financial forecasting to see what they should or shouldn't be making over the next however many years, you can do that with your life as well. The same way a student in college is gonna might have their degree plan. You have to have a plan. You have to know what is it that you're doing. And so you want your next level goals, and then you want your big picture goals. So you want your short-term goals, and you want your long-term goals. And you need to set these. You need to be designing your life strategically. Because the life that you want, it's not just going to fall out of the air. It's not falling from the sky. It's not going to fall in your lap. A lot of people have a lottery mentality. That's why people play the lottery. That's why the lottery makes so much money. That's why the jackpot can be as big as it is, because people just buy into the fact that they want their lives to change overnight. And that's just not how it's going to happen. You just think all of a sudden things are supposed to go right. All of a sudden you're supposed to be making more money. All of a sudden you're, like, that's not how life works. And I'm telling you from experience, because I had to learn that that's not how life works. The only way you're going to start having more money is if you learn how to manage the money you do have. The only way you're going to start having more money is if you increase your income and still learn to manage the money that you do have. Let me tell you something, a realization that I had to have. Everybody that I think is extraordinary. I made a list of all these people who I think are role models. They're just extraordinary. I'm inspired by them. All these great women, all these bosses, all these people, like all these people. And the common denominator amongst all those people were they were all human beings. And a lot of the people on that list came from very humble beginnings. Listen, success and manifesting the things that you want out of life, it doesn't care your color. It doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are. It doesn't matter any type of demographic. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you apply the principles that's required to bring about the success that you want. One of those principles is actually like visualizing what you want. You have to begin with the end in mind. So you have to see what you would like to create before you actually create it. Do you think architects just start pulling concrete and bricks together when they build buildings and houses? No, they have to actually sketch it out. They got to write it out. They have to visualize it. They have to see it. That's the only way it's going to get brought into fruition. Your life is the same way, especially whatever life it is that you want. It does not matter where you are in your life right now. You can choose this moment that your life is going to start going in another direction. It didn't matter when I was separated from the Navy, a single mom, living with my mom, on government assistance. It didn't matter that any of that was happening to me. My circumstances is not what was defining my life, even though it could have felt like it at the time, even though I felt down, even though I felt like, kind of like a piece of shit in a way. And I was just like, oh my God, like, how did I get this low? Like, that was my first time ever being behind on bills, and then my credit. Like, I was like, how did I get here? And it didn't matter how I got there. What matters is how do you get out of it? So you first got to see it in your mind so you can get out of it, so that at the very least, you can see it in your mind. So if you want to escape your environment, you can at least close your eyes and see something else, or see somewhere else. Which brings me right into visualization. Visualization literally reprograms your mind for success or for whatever it is that you're visualizing. You know why a lot of people repeat a lot of the same patterns in their life? It's because they constantly remember their past, constantly replaying images of the past, constantly thinking about situations from the past, constantly just remembering the past all the time. And if whatever you keep thinking about, you bring about, you're going to keep bringing about the same types of people, the same types of situations. It's going to keep happening because you do nothing but remember your past. So you got to stop remembering your past and start remembering your future. You have to start thinking about your future and what it is that you're trying to bring into your life. Now, I'm reading from a thing because I don't want to misquote. I did a little research, y'all. Literally, our brains can't distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. So if you visualize positive outcomes, it conditions your mind on what to expect and it attracts it. So this helps reduce self-doubt and it reinforces confidence. So literally your brain cannot tell the difference between if something is actually happening or if you're just visualizing it in your mind. A lot of times, and I'm literally a person who is diagnosed with PTSD. A lot of times when you're dealing with something like PTSD, it's like you're constantly reliving the trauma in your head. So you're also making your body relive the trauma. So that's why a lot of times, a lot of people with all types of anything, all types of ailments, deal with chronic pain, right? Especially if it's, oh my God, this fucking net. I am so sorry, y'all. It is getting hot in Florida and gnats, and it's a lot of bodies of water by where we live. But literally your brain cannot distinguish the difference between if you're visualizing something or if it's actually happening. So this is something that you can use to your benefit. This is something that I've used to my benefit. Before me and my son lived in beautiful Tampa, Florida, I saw it in my mind first. When my son was a little baby and I was living with my mom, and I remember he wasn't even 1 year old yet, y'all. And I would literally close my eyes because I would do meditation and I would visualize and I would see me and my son on the beach. I would literally visualize our feet in the sand because I was like, I don't know how old he's going to be when I finally, get there. So I didn't want to visualize what my son currently looked like. He's a growing boy. He looks different now, So I would just visualize our feet in the sand and the waves crashing our feet. I kid you not. I would visualize it. I'd go in my prayer closet and I'd do visualization meditation. Because I knew that I was so clear on the life I wanted for me and my son. I saw it in my head first. My body lived the experience before it actually came about. Even with me moving to Florida, I would literally, sometimes while I was studying, trading or anything, I would play videos on my TV of people who just like walk around with cameras on different beaches and boardwalks around the country. I would watch those videos would play. So like subconsciously my mind was picking up as if I was like on a beach. Because I knew because I had lived, in San Diego, I knew what that type of living was like. And I knew I wanted that for myself. So I kept the experience fresh in my mind. Literally, I'm telling y'all it works. You might believe, don't listen. If you don't want to believe it works, then it won't work for you. Simple. But I'm telling you, you have to see it so clear in your head first. You're not going to get to where you want to be in your life without clarity. You need to be clear on what it is that you're after. Clarity solves a whole lot of problems if you can just get clear. In relationships, if y'all just, are we on the same page? Are we clear that we're on the same page? Listen, it can solve a whole lot of problems, okay? So stop winging it. Don't just be winging it through life. I'm clear on exactly what it is I'm after right now. Why do you, even the times in my life when I'm just kind of like laid back, that's with intention. That's literally with intention. I remember when I mentally gave myself permission last year, because there was just so much going on, and it was like after the hurricanes, and then I was, trying to get adjusted with a new job, having problems with that, and then some stuff like trying to figure out all this stuff with my son, because my son had been with his dad all summer, so I was, preparing to get my son back. Like my life just kind of fell all over the place, and I like told myself, okay, Araya, on this date, this is when we'll start to really pick back up financially. I gave myself a date so that I didn't feel like I was just winging life. No, I told myself, listen, the rest of the year, it's the holidays, you got family coming in, it's Christmas coming up. The rest of the year, fuck it. Okay? You can figure, but January we're gonna figure it out. I don't just be winging it. Even the times where it seems like I'm winging it, I allowed the space for that, because I am intentional with my life. I want you to be intentional with your life. You're not going to get to where you want to get without intention. Simple. So really think about what you want your life to look like. What does your dream life look like? Where do you live? What's your perfect day? What is a perfect day for you? If you was living your dream life, what is a perfect day? What are you doing for work? Do you have kids? Do you not have kids? Did you drop your kids off at a certain type? If you do have kids, did you drop them off at a certain school? Did you go get a massage? What car did you get in? Like literally do the entire exercise. Just think of down to the T. What does your perfect day look like? And if you really would like to explore this topic further, I am going to leave a link in the description for it's free. It's a little Design My Dream Life workbook. If you're a journaler, this is definitely for my journalers. I am a journaler, a really big journaler. So I always want to make sure I'm giving you all reflections so that, you can make sure you're going inward and you're evolving. So go ahead and grab that Designing My Dream Life workbook. The link is going to be in the description so that you can go ahead and start this process, okay? I want y'all to get really clear on what it is you want from your life. You're not going to get there without intention, baby. And you're not going to go on Pinterest and start scrolling. You're going to sit with your own self and your own thoughts, and you're going to think about if anything was possible and nothing was off limits, because anything is possible and nothing is off limits. But let's just say you don't believe that. But for the sake of this exercise, say this was true. If anything was possible and nothing was off limits, what would your life look like? What type of life would you have? I want y'all to go ahead and do the work. If you're watching this on YouTube, okay, I want you to comment and tell me one of the things that you wrote down for yourself that's a part of your dream life. What is it? A type of house? Are you living in a specific city? Look, I knew I did not want to be in no damn Indiana. That's why I moved. Okay, I'm from Kentucky. I spent 18 years in Kentucky. That's all I had. As soon as I graduated, I left, and I really never wanted to come back. So where would you like to live? I always knew I wanted to move away from Kentucky. Even when I didn't go to the military, every college that I really wanted to go to was out of state. So is it a location? Is it a type of house you want? Have you been wanting to buy a house, but you've been playing? Let's get clear. What type of house do you want? So go ahead and do the designing your dream life workbook. And I'm going to see y'all in the next episode.